Today we'll be talking about Hindawi, an open access publisher, and he's really well. The company is really well known, and it's one of the most published articles in DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journals. Just to give you some background about the subject. So when I was working on the data on DOAJ and working on Hindawi, I thought that the name is like, okay, it's from the Middle East, so it's good like to have another publisher, big publisher from the Middle East, and to have another perspective, like, you know, about numbers, who's publishing there, etc. So some interesting things. Okay, Hindawi is based in Cairo, in Egypt. So the first question was like, how many Arabic journals do we have in Hindawi? And the answer was none. Another question, okay, so maybe the majority of Egyptians who write there, they write in English language. And I found out that only a minority of Egyptian researchers just write there, have research published in Hindawi's journals. And another question, I said, okay, maybe there's a special prize for local researchers. Okay, it's based in Egypt, so maybe Hindawi has special prize for Egyptian researchers. And also the answer was no. So this is like a background, so that's why I dig more into this case study, and I wanted to know more why Hindawi is based in Egypt and why Egyptian researchers are not taking advantage of this, you know, big company. So I'll give you an idea. Hindawi is a highly respected open access publisher and founding member of the Open Access Scholarly Publishers Association, which is really well known and very well respected. It's a for-profit company, so it's a for-profit company that follows the business model of article processing charges. It has revenues and profits in millions of dollars. And it charges all its articles in USD only, so it's the only currency that they work with. Hindawi is based, as I said, in Egypt, and it benefits from low-skilled labor there, and also from the free zone area, because Hindawi is considered an exporter, so they can, like as a company, they can be based in a free zone area that is either like exempted from taxes or has really very low taxes. So here are the number of authors that I got in April 13, 2016 while I was working on this project. So just to give you an idea, there are like more than 68,000 authors who have published in Hindawi's journals from the United States, over 85 from China, from India also 23. And you have this tiny number here. It's over 3,000 authors who published about 2,000 articles in Hindawi's journals. And just to keep, you know, give you more idea about that, I found out also that this number of Egyptian researchers are mainly co-authoring with others who are like professors in Western universities, or they are working actually in Western universities. Okay, so about the frequency of prices, so we see like, okay, maybe it's a financial problem, and since the prices are high, maybe it's not affordable to Egyptians. So we see like in 2003, there is a comparison between 2013 and 2015. Hindawi has a policy of changing the frequency of APCs among the journals that it publishes. So, for example, if there's a new journal or there's low demand of publishing articles in a certain journal, it will be a zero APC, zero article processing charges for now. Like in the future, if there's like more demand, if it's well established, the price gets higher. So as you see here in 2013. Most of the journals, over 300 journals, were zero for now APCs. And the range of prices, it was like the maximum was $1,750 for articles, to publish an article. In 2015, we find that the majority of journals are in the $600 rate. It's like more than 200 journals. And the prices are tending to be more expensive, so now we hit the $2,250. In 2016, the same thing happens, so we have the median, the mode, there are $600, so the majority of journals are having this price, and the average makes us feel like, okay, even there are more expensive journals since it hits about $700. So what does this mean to Egyptian researchers? Actually, I found some information because, like, also there's a, it's really hard to find information when it's not, you know, publicly exposed. In 2012, there was a raise of salaries for professors. So I got the information from there. It was like for a full professor, they had the salary of 3,500 Egyptian pounds, which at that time made about $600. $600, like it's, if he was, like if a researcher wants to pay the whole salary, is only publishing one article in a journal. The thing is, with the, in 2016, late 2016, Egypt was pressured by the International Monetary Fund to float its currency. So now, at that time in 2012, the Egyptian pound was about $6. Now it's hitting like the 18 pounds, sorry. $1 is 18 pounds now. So we can see if, I don't know, like I didn't find any information whether there was a raise in the salaries, but let's say it was doubled, like it's not 3,500, it's 7,000, it's still, they can't like, you know, it's like $400 a month, they can't pay for, or they can't, it's really unaffordable to pay for publishing one article. So is it like only a financial issue? Like, okay, am I like here just accusing maybe Hindawi for not helping researchers? But it's not only financial. What I read about it, it's that there's like general low awareness of the potential of open access. Like researchers are really very reluctant to share information, to publish openly. Also, there's lack of intellectual freedom to conduct and share research. Like after the revolution, there was like hope for academics that they will have more rights, raise in salaries. But now, under the military regime, things are getting worse, and even there's no like kind of freedom to research the subject that the researchers want to research. Also, in the universities, there's no elections anymore, so the head of universities are appointed by the government, and there's no lack of funding, etc. Also, there's lack of policies to encourage open access publishing and protect copyrights. And here I'm talking about even the researchers within themselves. So to give you an idea about the criteria, how research assessment is done, like for researchers, for let's say a professor who needs to be promoted and he's presenting the research for assessment. As you can see, the points like ranges from 10 to 0, let's say. If it's a local journal, you get the lowest rating. It gets more with an international influence or strong influence, etc. It gets more if it has impact factor. So if the research has impact factor, you'll get more points. If it's peer-reviewed, of course. If the periodical has a website, so imagine like if it's a good journal, but they don't have the maybe affordability to have a website, so it will be also like getting lower ratings. So this is really a burden, like even if they can afford to publish open access, with this criteria, it makes them really tending to publish in well-known international journals, which makes like as if local journals are useless or are of no use. There's a like little positive signs. We can't say like it's all negative. For open access for researchers, of course, every journal that is published fully open access, it's accessible, so they can access the information, they can read it, they can use the information. This free access of international research, like if they go to the OIJ, for example, we know that 65% of the, maybe the rate is not 65 now, but it's like the majority of journals, they don't charge APCs. So this is also a good thing for the researchers to know. Also in Egypt, there are more institutional repositories that are opening now. It's not the ideal. Like if you go more into private universities, you'll find it like more established, like the American University in Cairo, for example. but with other public universities, it's still in progress. So maybe it's not that often you find abstracts of research, of thesis, let's say, but it's in the process, and it's a good sign maybe to work on. So just this is the end. Thank you for listening for that, and hope you enjoyed it.